Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Today I have brought you another portfolio project. As you can see on the screen, we will design this nice looking dashboard in this project and we'll be using Tableau for visualization. We will also do the coding part using Python. We will do some data exploration and data pre-processing and data assessment and Python, and then we will, once the dataset is ready, then we will upload that dataset into Tableau and we will design this nice looking dashboard. So let me show you around. This section shows us the total number of bike rides for this duration that we have selected from here, and we can also see that this is the duration 31st of January to 29th of April. If I want to select any other duration, I can just uh, select that range and we will see the values accordingly. If I hover over any point in this line chart, which is the moving average chart, we will also see two other charts in the tooltip, which is the first one is hourly chart and the second one is the weather chart. And for example, if I want to increase the duration from here, so we can give it as 100 days, and then we will see the result according to 100 days. If I want to change the duration from days to if I want to change the period from days to weeks, then I click on this and we will get that data accordingly. If I click on month, then chart will become more smoother and we will get the moving average on the basis of that. Then we have this uh, filter which can increase or decrease the duration of our analysis. So if I want to increase it or decrease it, I can do it from here. Then at the bottom we have this heat map, which is for the temperature versus wind speed, and this will show us this will also be on the basis of this selection, which is 5th 19th of May to 25th of September. If I hover over any point in this heat map chart, we will again see the tooltip and the tooltips, the two other hourly and the weather charts, and this will give us the number of bike rides is different weathers and different hours. So this is going to be our final product, and we will design this product or this dashboard and this project. So please stay with us. So in this part of the project, what we will be doing, we will be downloading the dataset from the Kaggle website, and then what we will do, we will explore the dataset, and we will also do some pre-processing on that dataset before we feed it into the Tableau for visualization. So this first part of the code that you can see, if you haven't installed these libraries, you can uncomment these three lines of code and you can run it, and these libraries will be installed into your environment. And now what next we have to do, we also have to import these libraries after we install them. So I will run this part of the code and these libraries will be installed. And now we also have to import Kaggle Hub. So from where I get this part of the code. So if I take you to this link, which is the link to the dataset on Kaggle, let me take you to that specific page. So this is the dataset on Kaggle website, and if I click on download, here we have this a piece of code. We can copy it from here and we can run it in our environment. Let me run it, and what this will do, it will download the file for us from Kaggle, which will be the latest dataset. So as the file is downloaded into my local computer, what I have to do now, I'll upload that file into my Google Colab. So I will run this file up, this part of the code, and I'll now choose the file, and this is the file we just downloaded. I'll click on open. Now this file is uploaded. Now what I have to do, I'll run this code. Let me rename this. Okay, this file is now loaded. Let's run the next line of code, but first I'll have to, as this is archive.zip, so I'll rename it. So when I run this part of the code, so we have extracted all the files from this archive.zip. What we have to do next, as we can see, this london.merge.csv, london underscore merge.csv, this file has appeared. So what we have to do next, we will create a data frame bikes from it by running this pd.read.csv, and then we will provide it with the file name. So when I run this CSV file will be converted into a pandas data frame. So now as you can see, this is the first column, timestamp, then there is the CNT, which is count, then T1, T2, humidity, wind speed, weather code as holiday, as weekend, and season. So if you can see, the weather code has these different values and the season has these different values. So let me take you back to the Kaggle page where this data set is. So if this is the metadata for this data set. So as we can see, timestamp is timestamp field for grouping the data. Then we have CNT. This is the count of the new bike shares, and this is T1, which is the real temperature in degree C, and then T2 is the temperature in C, which feels like. So this is the real temperature, and this is the temperature which feels like, and then this is the humidity in percentage, then this is the wind speed in kilometer per hour, then this is the weather code, category of weather, and as holiday is a boolean, it can be 1 or 0, and as weekend is also a boolean field, it may be 1 or 0. And if we look at the season field, these 0, 1, 2, 3, these are mapped to these different seasons. So 0 is for spring, 1 is for summer, 2 is for fall, and 3 is for weather, winter. And same is the case for the weather code. So 1 is for clear, 2 is for scatter clouds, 3 is for broken clouds, and these. So you can check this metadata, and you can take the information from here. And this is the data set. So what we have to do next is we have loaded the data set. We will have a quick summary of the data set. So these are the columns, and these are the data types, and all these values are like there is no null value in the data set. And then if I want to check the rows and columns, so we have 17,414 rows, and then we have 10 columns. These are 10 columns. Okay, so this is the shape of the data set. And then if I want to just see the data set, so this is, I will just run this code by start head, and it will show us the data set. Now I want to know how many weather code values we have. Like if the weather code is 3, so how many values we have in this data set which has this weather code equal to 3.0. So if I want to count the values against each of these values, so what I will do, I will just run this step, and now it will show us that the weather code 1.0 has these many values in the dataset, which means that this is the most occurring weather code in the dataset. And then we have this 2.0, and these are the values. 3.0 and has this much values in the dataset. 7.0 has this much. So this is all about the weather code. Now if I want to also see the value counts for the seasons, so as we know, this is 0.0 is for spring, so we have the occurrence of spring in this data set is 4,394. So which means that this is the top, like the most occurring season in this data set. And then the second is this one, then this one, and then this one. So these are the values for the seasons. Now what I need to do, as we can see, this is just okay, but we have to make these columns like more readable and easy to understand. So I will create a dictionary for that. The keys of this dictionary will be the actual column names of the dataset, and the values will be the names that we want to give the columns. So timestamp will be converted into time, CNT will be converted into count, and these are the values, as you can see. So I have to rename these columns. So what I'll do, I'll run this code by start rename new column dictionary, which is this one, and x is 1, and n place is equal to true, which means that I want these changes to be permanent. So if I run this part of the code, so these will be assigned to the column names. Now also, as we can see that the humidity values, where is the humidity? Okay, this is the column. So these values are between 1 and 100. So what I have to do, I'll have to normalize these values. So I'll divide all these values by 100. So when I run this code, these values will be converted into like from 0 to 1. The values will now be from 0 to 1. And what I have to do next, I will map the actual season's name to these values, and the actual weather conditions to these values. And from where we have taken these values, we have taken this from this metadata of the data set. So, and then what we have to do, we will create dictionary for the seasons and also for the weather, and then we will do the mapping. Bike.season will be bike.season.map. And how are we gonna map it? So we're gonna map it using this dictionary. So these values will be mapped to these seasons. So let me run this, and same is the case with the weather. So let me run this code. So now if you can see, the name of the column is also changed, and this part of all these first 5 or 6 column names are changed. And whether is holiday, is weekend, and season, these are like we don't have to change these names, so these are as they were. And now these are the values. So if we look at the humidity percent, so these values are now between 0 and 1, and like the maximum value is 1 and the minimum value is 0. And then we have the wind speed, which remains the same, but only the column name is changed. So the data set is now fine, and we will convert this data set into Excel file. So I will run this line of code. which is bikes.2xl, and this is the file name that will be creating. This is the file, and the name of the sheet is going to be data. So if I run this code, now we can see that we have this Excel file created. So I will download this file from here. I will click on this download and I will save it in my local computer. I think I have already saved this file. I was just doing it again for this tutorial, so we already have this file. Let me just save it again. So we have saved this file, and now we will feed that Excel file into Tableau, and we will be doing the further visualization part of this project. So guys, as you can see that we are on the Tableau public, the first thing we have to do, we will have to connect Tableau to the data. So I'll click on Microsoft Excel because we created the file in this format, and this is the file that we created in Google Colab. So let me open the file, and now you can see this is the same data set that we created. So what I'll have to do first, I'll go to the sheet number 1, and the first thing I have to do, I'll create two user defined parameters. The first parameter is going to be, it's going to be the moving average period, and the data type is going to be a string, and it's going to be a list with the value day and then week and then month. So this is going to be the first parameter. I also have to create a second parameter that's going to be the moving average duration, and it's going to be a string, and the current value is going to be 10, and let's hit OK. So now we have these two parameters created. We will show them. So by clicking the show parameter, and now you can see these two parameters over here. Okay, the next step we have to do, this is time. But if we look at this icon, it's ABC, which means it's in the form of string. So we will have to convert the data type into date and time. Now what we have to do next, we will have to create a calculated field, which is going to be the moving average period, and it's going to be, the formula is going to be date trunc, and the date part is going to be the moving average period, and the second part is going to be the time, and I'll hit OK, and I'll click on it, and I'll change the data type from date and time to date. Now what we have to do next, we will just drag this holding the right mouse button, and we'll release it over here, and we'll click the continuous. And the second thing we have to do, we'll just drag this with the left mouse button and release it over here. So now as you can see, this is just a simple line chart. The next thing we have to do, we just have to create moving average period set. So I will click on this drop down, and I'll click on this create, and I'll click on set, and I'll hit OK. And now we have to create two other calculated fields. The first one is going to be the min month, and I will write it like this: app moving average period set, and then moving average period, and then end, and then close bracket. And we will also enclose this whole statement and the curly braces because we want it to return all the points. So I'll click on OK. Now what I'll do, I will just duplicate it and will edit it. So let me click on edit. Now we'll have to write it like max month, and we just have to replace this min with max, and I'll hit OK. Now what I will do, I will drag this min month holding the right mouse button into these details, and I'll click continuous, and I will do the same with the max month and hit continuous. The next thing we have to do, we will click on this moving average period set, and I'll go to worksheet, and I'll click on actions, and then I will add action, change set values. This is going to be the moving average period set date, moving average period set, and the target is going to be the moving average period set, and we will take on this point to keep set values, and I'll click OK, and I'll hit OK again. Now what we have to do next, first I'll just click on this show set just to check if it's working. So if I select these points and then we look, so these points are selected in the moving average period. If I select these last points and we scroll it all the way to the bottom, so these points are selected. But the problem we have now is we can select these points, but these are not highlighted. So the first thing we have to do, we have to go to the analytics and reference band, and I will drag this with holding the left mouse button key into the table and this moving average period, and I will select this min month. I will make it none, none, and then the max month, and none and none, and I will make it a dotted line, and the color is all good. So now if we select any part of the this line chart, this reference pattern is created. Now what we have to do next, we actually have to highlight those part of the line chart which we select. So what I have to do, I'll go to this data and I'll create another calculated field and I'll call it in range, and the formula is going to be moving average period is greater than or equal to min month, and moving average period is less than or equal to next month. If I hit OK and then I drag this to the color tab holding the left mouse button, now you can see whatever the part of the line we select, it gets highlighted, but there is also a flat line over the line chart, and this is just because the data is discrete but it's not a measure. So just to convert it into measure and keep it discrete, we will select this attribute option. Now as you can see that the straight line is gone, and whatever the range we select, it gets highlighted. So as we know that currently we have the total number of bike rides and we want the moving average. So and the easiest way to do it is I'll click on this drop down and I will go to this quick table calculation and I'll select the moving average. And what I have to do next, I will drag this into this part of the worksheet, and what I have to do, I will name it as moving average rides. Now I'll click on this drop down and I'll hit edit, and what we have to do next, we have to just make this range, like this window, dynamic. Like currently it's saying that this is the current value, this is the current day, and this is 2 days back, so it's a window of 3 days. So what I have to do, I will replace it with moving average duration uh, plus plus 1. Now this formula, what it will do, for example, if I select a duration of 10 days, so what it will do, it will select the 9 days back and this current day, it will become a total duration of 10 days. So this is correct, but what's the problem here? Can negative string values, it says can't negative string value. Let me check this part of the I'll hit edit. Okay, it's string, it has to be integer. Okay, that was my fault. I'll hit OK, and now let me do this again. Let me, where is that? Okay, this is the calculated period. I'll hit edit and we will again do the same thing, moving average duration and plus 1. Now it looks fine. Let me hit OK, and now as you can see that if I this is the day selected, this is the period, and if I make this duration to, let's say, 100 and I'll hit OK, so as you can see that the curve and the line becomes smoother because we have selected a greater range, or uh, big range of the moving average. If I hit on week, it will get more smoother. So this is the way it's gonna work, and it's working fine. Okay, let me again select day and let me select this 10. So for shorter duration, the line gets more rough, like it has more fluctuations, and as we make the duration longer, the line gets smoother. So I think we are done with this part of the project. Let's do the next part, which is the, I think it's okay, it's the total number of bike rides. So we will do that one. So before we proceed to our next step, what I have to do, I will just rename this. I will call it as moving average, and then I will create a new worksheet. And what I have to do first, I'll create a calculated field. I will call it as in range rights, and the formula is going to be sum int in range. Where is in range? Yeah, in range multiplied by count, and I will close the bracket and I will enclose this whole expression in curly brackets so we can get all the values. I'll click on OK, and now what I'll have to do next, I will drag this in range to the filters and I'll click on true. I'll click on apply OK. Now I will take this maximum into the details, and I will click on continuous, and I will also drag this minimum to the details, but keep in mind that I'm holding the right mouse button key while dragging it. So I'll click on continuous. What we have to do next is where is my, yeah, this is in range, right? So I will just drag it into the labels, and what I'll do, I will just rename it. I will name it as London bike rides between, and I will insert from here the min month and max month. Where's max month? And I'll hit click on apply, and I'll hit OK. So now as we can see that this is the title and this is the total number of rides, but you may be thinking that from where it's getting this range. So it's getting it from here. If I, for example, if I select this range, now it's gonna give me the values for this range, as you can see. So this is just a simple London bike rides calculated field, sorry, chart. And now what we have to do next, so the next chart we have to create, it's going to be a heat map chart, and it's going to be between like temperature versus wind speed. And okay, let's do it. So before we proceed, let me give it a proper name. It will be like total rights, and then I will create a new worksheet. And what I'll have to do, as we know that we have so many values in this temp, RLC, and wind speed kp, so we will create bins from these fields. So the first bin I'm going to create is going to be, I'll give it a name as temp c, and it will be created from this field. And I will also create another bin from this one as well, and I will call it as wind kph. Now what I'll have to do, I'll drag this into this column and also the temp c into the rows, and then I will drag this count into the color and make sure the square is selected. Now what I have to do, I will drag this into this filter, in range into filter, and I'll select true. I'll hit OK, and then I'll drag this one with the right mouse button and will release it over the details, and I'll select continuous, and I'll do the same with the next month. And let me make this entire view. And the next thing I have to do, I think I'll have to drag this count into the label so we can see the values as well. So we have created our heat map, but we will also do some further formatting. For now it looks good. Now the next thing we have to do, we will have to create two more charts that are going to be the tooltip charts. The first one is going to be the weather chart, and the second one is going to be the hour chart. And for example, if I hover on this value, and so in the tooltip it will show me the weather chart for this value as well, like the total number of bike rides for weather, and then it will also show me the data on the basis of the hour, like total bike rides per hour. So let's create our first chart, which is the weather chart version. Before that, let me just rename this page. It's going to be heat map, and then I'll create a new worksheet. Sorry, I don't have to create a dashboard. I'll delete it for now, and I'll create a new worksheet. I will just give it a name, weather, and we will just create a very simple weather chart. And for that, what I will do, I will first drag this. Where is the weather? I will drag this into the rows column, and I will drag the count. Where is the count? Where's the count? Okay, I will drag it into the columns, and I will just sort it. And the next thing I'm gonna do, I'll drag this feather and I will release it over the color. And let me make it entire view. And let me just I don't need this card, so I'll just hide it. And the next thing I'm gonna do, I will just drag this to the, I'll apply the filter, so I'll drag this into the filters. I'll click on true, I'll hit apply, and then OK, and then I will drag the min month into the details. Select continuous. Please keep in mind that I'm holding the right key while I'm dragging the min month and max month. So I'll do like that. And now what next? We will create our another sheet which is for the hour, and we will do the same process again. So I will drag this time into this rows field, and I will select the discrete hour, and I will drag the, where is the count? I'll count this to the, one second, let me drag it simply with the left key, and I will select the bar chart first, and I will sort them again. And now I will drag this time into the color. What happened? Let me check. Sorry, it was my mistake. I will drag this hour holding the control key just to make a copy of it, and I will release it here. So the colors are now applied to the hour chart as well. Now I will repeat the same steps. I will drag this in right into this filter section. I will hit OK. I'll click this on true and hit apply and OK. Then I will drag this month into the details. Then I will select continuous, and I will also drag this next month into the details, and I'll click on this. And now what I will have to do, I will drag this count into the labels column. Sorry, I will drag it with the right mouse button so I can see the labels as well. And I will also do the same with the weather chart. Where is the count? I will drag it and release it over the labels so we can see the labels. Now it looks okay. And what we need to do next, I will hide this card and I will make it as entire view. So now we have created our five visuals. The first one is the moving average, and then the second one is the total rights, and then the heat map, and then the weather, and then the hour. So these are total five visuals. And we will, before we create the dashboard, let me do the formatting for all these charts as well. So now let me go to the moving average worksheet again, and I will right click anywhere over here, and I'll click on format. So the first thing, I will have to remove all the lines from here, so it's already none. I will remove this line, trend lines, reference lines, and drop lines, and also this one, and also this one. I will also have to remove any of these grid lines, and I think it looks perfect now. And we also have to do one thing. I will hide this card, and I will also hide this card. And now we also have to change the color of this chart. So I will go to this color and I will edit colors. For the false, I'll double click on it and I will assign it a code, which is 9B 9C sorry 9B93 9B93C9. This is going to be this purple, and for the true I will assign it another color, which is 0A611B. So this is going to be the screen color, and I will hit apply and I will click on OK. Now what I have to do, I will click on this band and I will edit it, and I will also assign the colors to this one as well. So for the line, I'm gonna give it a specific code which is the same as the green one that we just applied. It's 0A611B. And for this, I'm gonna apply it a color which is going to be very light green. It's going to be E8 EDDA, and I'll hit OK and I will apply. So now it will look this, which is looking very nice. What thing I have to do further, I will have to just edit this axis and I will remove the title, and the values will remain there. So I will click on this, and from here I will also edit the axis and remove the title. I don't need them. Okay, what I have to do next, I will just rename this. I will insert the moving average period duration, and then also the period, and then I will say moving average. I will write it like this, and I will make them bold, and I will assign this green color, and I will hit apply and I will hit OK. So one thing I have to do, I will have to just give it one space. I'll hit apply. No, sorry, not here. It's going to be here. Okay, and I will remove one space again and I'll hit apply. So now it looks good. What need to do now, we will do the formatting for the total rights as well, but let me do one thing. I'll have to make this as small letters just to make it looking, yeah, it looks perfect now. If I just change any parameter from here, you see that these values will change. If I give it 100 value, 100 week moving average, if I make it convert it into day, so the title will change accordingly. Now we will move on to our next worksheet, which is the total, right? So I'll double click on it. I'll make everything bold, and I'll make this smaller, maybe around 10, and we will give them color, which is this green. I'll hit OK, so it looks nice. Now for this text, I'll go to this field and I'll click on this. I'll make it much bigger, and I will apply it. I'll make it bold, and I will apply the color green, and I'll hit OK. Now it looks fine. So then by rights between this and this date, and this is the total value. So I think it looks fine now. And for the worksheet, let me just this is the total rights. Okay, I will just copy the formatting from here, and I will paste it over here. So I will paste formatting, and it looks okay now. But one thing I need to do, I think I'll have to just right click on the format, and from here the sheet, I will give it a different color. So if I go to the shade, I will make it this off-white, or maybe this one. This is white, and this is off-white, and this is this one. And I will also copy the formatting from here, and I'll paste it over here. So it looks fine now. Now moving on to the heat map worksheet, what I can do, I will just click on this. I will first hide this card. I don't need it. And now I will click on this color, edit colors. From here I will select this purple, and then I will select this custom sequential. I will click on apply, and this looks very nice now. And for these values, let me format it. I just want them to be up to one decimal place, so I will just click on this number custom and make it as one decimal place. And same is the case with this, so we will also change it accordingly. We'll make it as one decimal place, and now these values are also formatted access values. And I will just copy the formatting from this page worksheet, and I will paste it over here, paste formatting, and I will also paste it over here. And one thing we have to do, I don't need this count, so I'll click on this axis. I will remove it from here, and I also don't need this one, so let me just hide labels for rows. So it looks perfect now, but we also have to do some further formatting. I'll have to remove any rows from here. I'll make all these values none to remove any lines from this chart. So these are the columns. I'll have to just remove it, make it as none, and I think it looks perfect now. Now I will copy the formatting from here, and I will paste it over here as well. This formatting, and as you can see that all the axis lines in row and column lines are removed. What we have to do next, I think it looks perfect now. I will also have to remove this thing, so I will double click on it, and I will remove it from here, and I will also hide this thing, and it looks fine now. Let me just go through all the worksheets again. So they look fine now. Well, now what we will have to do, we will just move on to our dashboard design. But before that, we will also have to do changes into the tooltip section, because if I'm hovering over this chart, we see there are so many values, we don't need them, and also we have to do some changes. So let me click on this tooltip. I don't need these three values, and for this I only will write it as date, and I'll hit on OK. So now if I hover over this chart, it's showing me the values and the date accordingly. And now we also have to do one thing. We will just add the, here I will insert the charts, which is the first one is the weather chart, and the second one is the hour chart. Let me hit enter, and I'll insert the other one as well. It's going to be the hour chart, and let me just change the dimension. I'll make it as 300 by 200, and this one is going to be 300 by 400. And let me hit OK, and let me check. So now as you can see, this nice looking these two charts are in the tooltip of this. So it looks, I think it looks perfect now. Now for the total right, I think we don't need any tooltip here, so we will just remove everything from here because we don't need them, and I will hit OK. And now if we click hover over this, we don't have any tooltip that we don't need actually. So let's move on to the heat map now. So now for the heat map, I'll double click on it. So we don't need actually the count here. I will remove this, and we will also remove this min month and max month. And one thing we can do, we'll just make it bold and we will give it a nice green color. And then I'll do the same way as we did before. I will insert the weather sheet, and then I will also insert the hour, and we will do the same with these two as well. We'll 200, 300 by 200 and 300 by 400, and I'll hit OK. So if I hover over this now, it looks fine. And I think we also have to do with this one as well, with the moving average. If we click on this, I think we just have to make this bold and nice green. And let me hit OK. So now if I hover over this, we can see the values look much nicer. So this is for the now for the heat map. It also looks fine. So what next? One last thing we have to do, I will double click on it. I will make them a center aligned, and I'll also make them bold, and I'll hit apply, and now they look just nice. Okay, and now I will click on this feather, and I'll go to tooltip again, and I will remove everything from here, and I'll click OK. And we also have to make this as bold, the labels. So the labels are now bold. And now the hour chart. So we will again remove all the labels from here, and I will also make the labels bold. I'll click on apply, and I'll hit OK. So I think we are done for the formatting of all these 5 charts. So as a final step, we'll be creating our dashboard. Let me click on this dashboard icon, and from here we're gonna go with the fixed size, and then the size is going to be generic desktop. And the next thing I have to do, I will do, I will just drag this total right into this open area. And 1 second, let me just, I'll have to select the tile first, and then I will drag this total rights into this space, open space, and I'll make it as entire view. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'll just drag this one average and release it over here. And now I'll make sure that these are floating, so I'll mm, convert them into floating. So I will, for this one I will also do the same. I'll make it as floating, and then what I have to do, I'll just delete these two. And okay, so what we have to do next, so the next step will be, I will just drag this heat map, and I will release it over here, and I'll make it, actually it's already entire view, but the one thing we have to do, we'll just give it a proper name. So I will call it as uh, temperature versus wind speed between, I'll insert the min month and max month. And what I'm gonna be doing, I'm just gonna make it bold, and I'm gonna give it a nice green color. And for them, I will just make them green, and I'll make them 10. And let me hit apply, and let me hit OK. So it looks looking nice now. We will also do some size adjustment. I'll make it a little bit, uh, yeah, I will increase the size, and then I'll go to this dashboard, and I will click on the format, and here I'm gonna select the same color that we did for the worksheets, so it's gonna look nice. And now what we need to do next, I will the decrease the width of this, and I'll go to this worksheet, and I'll also have to make changes. I'll make it center, and I'll make it center. So it's let me open the dashboard again. So it looks fine now. Now we're gonna apply padding to all these 3 charts. So I will click on this, I'll go to the layout, and here we will apply a layout of, I think 4 is okay. And we will also check for this one. So it's also 4. And if I check this one, so these values are already like they are perfect, so we don't have to apply these things. Next, we're gonna be formatting these filters. I will first drag this one to the left and will uh, 1 second. Okay, now I'll go to the format and let me click on all parameters. So I will make them bold and green so it looks nice, and for the body I will also do the same. I'll make them green and bold. Now let me do one thing. I'll close this and I will go to the I will first select the floating and I will drag the text and I will release it over here and I will write like drag and hold to select time period on timeline, and I'll make the size as 24. Let me select 24 and I will also make this as nice green and bold and I will hit OK, and let me just double click and let me decrease the size of the font to maybe this much. I think this looks good now. And what we have to do next, I think I'll have to make it more smaller just to fit at the top of this chart. So if I drag it over here and if I make it more smaller, maybe this much, and let me align this one as well. So this text comes first and then we have this chart. Let me drag it to the right. Let me also drag this one to the right. Okay, I think okay, one last thing, we have to apply another filter to this chart, and that filter is gonna like filter these values on the basis of a range. Like, let me show you how we do this. So let me go to this page, and what I will do, I will drag this moving filter to this filter section and we'll select range updates and I'll hit OK, line OK, and then I will go to the dashboard, and what I will do, go to these filters and I will select this filter moving average period. So this is the filter, and now what I'm gonna do, I'll just click on this, I'll make it floating and I will delete this section and I will rearrange it over here. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me go to the formatting, and what I will do, I will just make this bold and this nice green color, and I'll also make the body text as bold and green, so it looks perfect now. One last step we have to do, I think we have to apply some borders to it. So I click on this format and I'll click on all parameters, and then once again let me select this one and format, and this is the body. Where is the borders? Let me hit this thing and format. 1 second, and all parameters. Okay, there's the border. So we'll just make it a dash line and we will give it a color which is this nice green color. And what I will do, I will just rearrange them. So okay, I will also apply the same format to this one as well. I'll set up this filter and I'll make it as dash line and this green color just to make them align with one another. So I think it looks perfect. Now we just have to make sure that this chart is working, this dashboard is working fine. We'll have to check this again. So if I click on, if I select any range from here, mhm. So this is not working and we can fix that. We can fix it by going to the dashboard and if I click on actions and then I will update this, and this time I will select this dashboard, and we will only update the moving average, and this is gonna be the same. So I'll hit OK. I'll hit OK. So now if I hover over this, yeah, so now it's working. So as you can see that the values are changing accordingly, wherever whatever the uh, range we select, so these values are changing accordingly. If we want to decrease or we want to select a shorter range of dates, then we can do that and it will give us the values accordingly. So I think this looks fine. So this is our final dashboard. Here we have the land bike rides, and this is the 100-day moving average. We can change this. If I want to show only 10-day moving average, I will just hit enter. So the chart will change accordingly, and same as the case with the title. If I want to see the results on the basis of the weeks, then this whole chart will change accordingly. If I hover over this chart at any point, we will see that, and we can also see that the charts are also in the tooltip that we created. So this is all about this data set. If we look at this chart, so the tooltip is also showing the charts related. So this is all about this project. I think we are done with the project now. This is completed, and you can showcase it on your uh, portfolio. Just share it on your Tableau public background, and also share a link on your uh, LinkedIn account, and also save this work on GitHub as well, and to your GitHub repository, so you can. So this is our final dashboard, and if we wanna check whether it's working properly or not, so we can do one thing. We can select any range in this chart. Let me do, and we will see that all the values are changing accordingly. If we hover over any point in this range, we will also see the charts in the tooltip for the weather and hour. And if I hover over this chart, so it's showing me the values accordingly, and this is the total bike rides within this duration. So, and if I also want to change the duration from here, and I hit enter, so we will see that the chart and all the charts are changing the values accordingly. If I want to select the day, then we will see different results. So this is all about this dashboard, and our project is complete now, and you can save this project to the Tableau public, and you can also share it on your LinkedIn profile or anywhere where you want to showcase your portfolio. So this is a nice looking chart, and this is a very like you had a lot to learn in this tutorial. So if you have learned something from it, please encourage us more by just subscribing to this channel, and also hit the like button and the bell icon, so you can be notified whenever we upload new videos. And of course we will upload on the basis of the data analyst portfolio project. So keep supporting us, and we will be creating contents for you. Thank you.